This story was sent to me by Celebrated Player, and it is coming out of New York. Now, this story right here is very, very, very interesting. So, there's this school in Manhattan known as the Little Red Schoolhouse, and you can see it right here on the side profile, where school administrators for this particular school actually had plans of segregating the school within the school, of course. Basically, what they were going to do, or actually what they had already been doing since 2016, according to the article, was keeping the minority students, quote unquote, or the kids of color, black, Hispanic, Asian, Mexican, whatever, basically non-white, all in one class, and keeping them separate away from all of the white students while inside of the school. To be quite honest, I really don't see anything that bad with it. And let me tell you why. Because we know when it comes to these schools, we know that the white students and the other students are taught completely differently. Look at even how they put the stuff in these textbooks. Like the McGraw-Hill book, for instance. They keep rewriting that book, especially when it comes to history, and talking about how slavery wasn't that bad. We wanted to come here voluntarily. It was like indentured servitude and a whole bunch of other fluff stuff that was completely inaccurate. But the parents of the students are mad because not so much that the school decided to do this, but because of the fact that they weren't upfront with them about it first. Like, it's like they just slipped this policy in, and the way that they found out was through their kids. Like, they didn't send any type of newsletter home to the parents. They didn't have any kind of parent-teacher administrator meeting about it. They just did it. Now, I can understand why the parents would be upset, because as a parent, you would want to know about something like that, and you would be mad that it's been going on for so long, and the way that you found out about it was from your kid. Now, what if your child was one of the ones that didn't say anything? They would have went through their entire school career, and you would have never known about this. But at the same time, I wouldn't be completely upset either, because like I say, these students learn at a different pace and at a different level. But I think since this has been revealed, I think their little, I guess you could say, program, if you want to call it that, has ended, and it's pretty much going back to the way that they really want to. But you know what? This is no different than Jim Crow. When you had the all-white schools and you had the all-black schools. Quiet as it's kept, I think there's a lot of white people who are more scared to go. If segregation was to begin again today, I think it will almost be more white people who will be scared to go back to segregation more so than black people. Now, granted, it'll probably be some black people that be scared too, because a lot of black people rely on white people for their daily bread, as Professor Blacksheep calls it. But I think white people will be just as scared, because they've already, I guess you can say, gained so much off of us through integration, that if we was to separate today, they would not be able to gain any more. Especially in this era of them opioids and them low birth rates and them suicide rates and them deaths of despair and a whole bunch of other shit that they're going through right now. But I thought this was very, very interesting. I'll leave the link to the article down in the description. And this school is a private school, I believe, and they said this school is over $45,000 a year. Like, that's a lot of money for a student. But I can understand why they did it. But like some of the parents' anger, I can understand. They should have been upfront with it, because it sounds like they weren't too upset that they decided to do this. It's just the fact that they didn't tell them about it, and they had to find out through their kids and not through them. So it's almost like they were left in the dark for a while. And if a child, like I said, if a child never spoke up, they would have never known. But I would like to know what y'all think. Did you like would you like this idea? Did you like what they were attempting to do? Or do you feel like the parents feel like they should have been upfront about the situation going forward? Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. donate to the PayPal if you can. And if you can become a Patreon, you can do that as well. I'll talk to you in the next one.